Hello, everyone. This is Viking Initiative for Building Excellence, and I'm your tutor, Jason Gu. And then I'll be teaching you AP Pre-Calculus in the future. And then this is our lesson one: Introduction and Overview. So, why do we even take AP Pre-Calc when it's not worth of college credit, right? Well, so first of all, it's a very good foundation course for AP Calculus AB and BC. Also for some IB math courses such as AAHL, AIHL, and statistics. It can lay a very solid foundation so they can do well and do better in your future math courses. And second, it helps bridge the gap between Algebra 2 and AP Calculus. So the reason why we have AP Pre-Calc is that there's a lot of people complaining how hard AP Calculus was, and then how hard it was to to jump straight from Algebra 2 to AP Calculus. That's why we have AP Pre-Calc, a foundation course for y'all. And third, it looks good on your transcripts. So by taking AP classes, it can show that you can show colleges that you challenge yourself. So that instead of taking regular pre-calc class or like algebra 2, so you can take AP pre-calc to show the colleges that you're trying your best to become the best. So last but not least, it helps with SAT and ACT prep. The functions and algebra skills that you learn in AP pre-calc, it can actually show up on standardized tests, which means that if you do pretty well in AP pre-calc, I'm pretty sure you will do pretty well too in SAT and ACT math. So these are the major units in AP pre-calculus. There are 4 units, but only the first 3 will be on the AP final exam. The first one is polynomial and rational functions. Second one, exponential and log functions. Third is trigonometric and polar functions. Fourth is functions involving parameters, vectors, and matrices. Also some conic sections, but this will not be on the AP final exam. But I strongly recommend everyone to learn as hard as you can because it's a very, very good topics that you'll be, doing a lot in your future math courses. So just try your best to learn it. And then the worst that I had it in red are the topics that most people struggle with. So I'll be making more videos in the future just for these topics. So this is the exam overview. So you will have in total of 3 hours for AP Pre-Calc exam. So the whole exam is divided in 2 sections. The first one is MCQ multiple choice. The second one is FRQ. So for MCQ, you have 40 questions and you have 2 hours to do it. And it's worth of around 63% of your grade. And then section 1 for MCQ is divided in 2 parts. So part A is without calculator, and then you have 80 minutes to do 28 questions. For part B, you need a calculator, and then you have 40 minutes to do 12 questions. And for FRQ, you have 1 hour for 4 questions, and it's worth of around 38% of your exam score. So for part A, it is also divided in 2 parts. So for part A, 2 questions, you have 30 minutes to do so. For this one, you need a calculator. So and for second one, 30 minutes, 2 questions. Again, the same thing. And then with the 19% of exam score. And for this one, you do not need a calculator. And now let me just tell you the AP exam weighting. So unit 1, it weighs around 30 to 40%. And unit 2, 27 to 40. And then unit 3 is 30 to 35. And then I recommend everyone to spend more time learning about unit 3, reviewing about unit 3, because I'll say it's the hardest unit in AP Pre-Calc exam. And then let me tell you a little bit about the exam difficulty. So everyone who's taking AP is aiming a 5 on AP exam, which is, I'll say, the highest score, right? So in AP Pre-Calc, a raw score of 70% is a 5. So let me just show you some stats. This is a calculator. So let's say if you get every single question right on the FRQ and none of the question right on the FRQ, you can still get a 4. That's still a 4 on the final AP exam. Only for pre-calc though. And then, if you do a little better, if you get 1 question right on the FRQ, and that is already a 5 on the final AP exam. But, it's but it's nearly impossible to get full score on MCQ. So like, let's say, and then it's also impossible to get zero score on the FRQ. So let me set a little goal for you. So this is a pretty achievable, a score to get a 5. It is also the bare minimum. So I believe it's not impossible to do it, but it's not that easy. But so, this is your goal. Yeah, and then let me just show you some sample questions just to let you know the difficulty. This is a question from Unit 1. Feel free to pause the video and try to do it yourself. And then I'll give the answers in a few seconds. All right, so it says the figure shows the graph of piecewise function, and then you have to find the average rate of change. So the average rate of change is equals to divided by the changing x. So in this case, it's in a closed interval 3, 5. So it's from here to here. So the changing y is 1, the changing x is 2. So the ARC is basically 1/2. All right. And then this is a sample question from Unit 2. Feel free to pause the video and try to do it yourself. And I will give you the answers in a few seconds. All right, let me just show you how to do it. This is a composed function. So it's basically you have to plug the whole f of x into g of x. So you have to plug everything in. So 2x minus 1 squared plus 3, 2x minus 1, and then you expand it. So you can get 4x minus 4 squared minus 4x plus 1 plus 6x minus 3. And then if you simplify, you can get 4x squared plus 2x minus 2. So the answer is C. All right, and this is a sample question from Unit 3. Feel free to pause the video and try to do yourself. All right, let me just give you the answers. So you have to find A and B. So A is basically the amplitude and is the distance between midline to its minimum or maximum. So in this case, it's 6. So A is equal to 6, and B is equal to 2 pi divided by period. In this case, the period is pi. So B equals to 2 pi divided by pi, which is 2. So the answer is C. All right, these are just 3 sample questions from each unit, just to let you know the difficulty. If you have more questions, I'll be making more videos in the future, so don't worry about it. All right, this is basically it for today. And feel free to visit villageinitiative.com for more AP and IB resources. If you have any questions, feel free to join the AP Precalc chat, and then you can find it in this website. Thanks for watching.